Good morning, members. I trust everyone had a good weekend, and we're going to have the clerk lead us in prayer once the sergeant secures us there. Thank you, Sarge.
The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Lord, have mercy upon us. Lord, have mercy upon us. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness hast appointed the office of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of men and women, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in these islands. Let thy blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of these islands and those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. And this we beg for Jesus Christ's sake. Amen. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all, evermore. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Members, the House is now in session. Members, the minutes of the 6th of March have been deferred. Messages from the governor. There are none. Announcements by the speaker. We've been informed by the honorable that the member Christopher Famous will be absent today. The papers from the Senate. There are none. Messages from the Senate, rather. Papers and other communications to the House. There's one this morning in the name of the Minister of Labor and Economy and Labor. Minister?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to attach and submit for the information of the Honorable House of Assembly the Economic Development Strategy 2023-2027 Strategic Priority 1, Local and International Business Retention and Expansion 2023 to 2027 update.
Thank you. Petitions? There are none. Statements by minister and junior ministers. There are 3 statements this morning. The first is in the name of the Minister of National Security. Minister?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
Colleagues and the listening public. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to provide this Honorable House with an update on the recruitment efforts currently underway across the uniformed services and departments that fall under the remit of the Ministry of National Security. Ensuring that our services remain properly staffed, professionally trained, and operationally ready is essential to maintaining public safety and national security. The Ministry therefore continues to work closely with each department to support recruitment initiatives, address existing vacancies, and ensure that Bermuda's essential services remain capable of responding to the needs of our community. Mr. Speaker, across the Ministry, recruitment actively remains active and ongoing. Recruitment activity remains active and ongoing. While we continue to see strong interest from members of the public who wish to serve, the reality of uniform and operational roles is that candidates must meet rigorous standards. Physical fitness, medical suitability, psychological assessments, background vetting, and professional competency are all critical components of the selection process. As a result, while application numbers are often high, the number of candidates who ultimately meet the full suitability requirements is more limited. Mr. Speaker, at the same time, the ministry must continue to manage natural workforce turnover, including mandatory retirements within several services. This makes it necessary to maintain a steady recruitment effort to ensure operational continuity and maintain the capabilities required to serve the public. Within the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service, there are currently 11 uniform officer vacancies, comprising 9 firefighter posts and 2 lieutenant positions. The service recently completed a recruitment process in which 16 applicants were interviewed. From this pool, 9 recruits were successfully selected and will commence training on the 1st of April 2026. This intake will increase frontline firefighting capacity while the service prepares for a further recruitment exercise later this year to address anticipated retirements and maintain appropriate staffing levels. Mr. Speaker, the Bermuda Police Service continues to progress with 2 active recruit foundation courses as part of its ongoing recruitment program. Recruit Foundation Course 86 currently has 17 active applicants and is in the final medical assessment stage, with reports expected by the end of March 2026. Once these clearances are completed, the cohort is expected to commence training in May 2026. Recruit Foundation Course 87 currently has 27 active applicants who are progressing through the recruitment process, with vetting, medical assessments, and interviews still to be completed. At present, the Bermuda Police Service has approximately 47 vacancies. While the service aims to onboard as many suitable candidates as possible through the current recruitment cycles, final intake numbers will depend on the successful completion of all suitability requirements. The BPS intends to commence its next local recruitment cycle for Recruit Foundation Course 88 in April 2026. The Bermuda Police Service is also developing a pool of suitably qualified overseas applicants who may be called upon, where necessary, to supplement local recruitment. Maintaining such a pipeline allows the service to respond more efficiently to operational staffing requirements while continuing to prioritize the recruitment and development of Bermudians. Mr. Speaker, the Royal Bermuda Regiment also continues to maintain an active recruitment pipeline. The regiment recently completed a recruitment run that resulted in 22 successful candidates commencing recruit camp in February of this year. In addition, there are currently 25 potential recruits within the active recruitment pool. The next intake is scheduled for the 5th of July, 2026. The regiment currently has 44 unfilled part-time positions as well as 2 full-time staff posts. Recruitment efforts therefore remain ongoing to ensure that the regiment maintains the numbers required to fulfill its important national roles, including domestic operations and support to civil authorities. Mr. Speaker, within the Department of National Drug Control, there are currently 11 vacant posts across a range of clinical and treatment support roles. The department has already received approval for the recruitment of an overseas addiction counselor who is presently awaiting onboarding. Mr. Speaker, several additional positions, including addiction counselors, treatment coordinator, and clinical coordinator roles, have been advertised and are progressing through the interview process during March of this year. Temporary relief arrangements are currently in place to ensure continuity of service while permanent appointments are finalized. In addition, 3 addiction treatment support workers are scheduled to commence employment on the 1st of April 2026. These appointments will increase the department's capacity to deliver treatment and recovery services. The department also continues to benefit from the support of a senior clinical contractor who is assisting with clinical supervision, program development, and preparations for CARF accreditation. Mr. Speaker, the Customs Department also continues to advance its recruitment efforts to support Bermuda's border security operations. The department currently reports 52 uniformed officer vacancies, of which 14 posts are funded. Customs is presently conducting a recruitment exercise to hire 20 new officers from a pool of 238 applicants. Fitness testing has recently been conducted, with additional stages including drug testing, medical examinations, and interviews scheduled to take place during the coming weeks. Subject to successful completion of these stages, the department anticipates that the next group of recruits will commence training on the 1st of June, 2026. The department most recently passed out 13 new officers and plans to conduct another recruitment campaign in August of 2026 to continue increasing operational staffing. Mr. Speaker, taken together, these recruitment activities demonstrate that sustained work is underway across the ministry to maintain the staffing and operational readiness of Bermuda security and public safety services. While recruitment within these fields is demanding and highly selective, the continued interest shown by members of the public reflects a strong sense of service that exists within our community. Mr. Speaker, it is important to recognize that maintaining capable operational services is not achieved through a single recruitment exercise. It requires continuous workforce planning, ongoing recruitment pipelines, and a commitment to training and professional development. As retirements occur and operational demands evolve, the ministry must remain proactive in ensuring that the next generation of officers, firefighters, and public safety professionals are prepared to step forward and serve. The Ministry of National Security will therefore continue working closely with its departments to support recruitment, develop training pathways, and ensure that each service has the personnel it requires to carry out its mandate effectively. Our objective remains clear: to maintain capable services that can protect our borders, support our communities, and respond effectively in times of emergency. Mr. Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to acknowledge the men and women who serve within these departments. Their work often takes place out of the public eye, yet it is essential to the safety and stability of our island. The government remains committed to supporting them by ensuring that their services are properly staffed and equipped to carry out their responsibilities. Recruitment efforts will continue throughout the coming months, and the ministry will remain focused on ensuring that Bermuda's public safety services are prepared to meet the needs of our community. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of the Minister of Economy and Labor. Minister?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I lay before this Honorable House a progress report on the Economic Development Strategy 2023 to 2027. The Economic Development Strategy is Bermuda's roadmap for strengthening and diversifying the economy, creating opportunity for Bermudians, and building a more secure and inclusive future. Economic development shapes the cost of living and the services Bermudians rely on. This report sets out what has been delivered, what is underway, and what comes next. Mr. Speaker, I will begin with Strategic Priority 1, Local and International Business Retention and Expansion, which focuses on retaining and expanding existing businesses by removing barriers to investment and jobs, and keeping Bermuda efficient, trusted, and competitive as global conditions evolve. The key highlights include expanded progress on residential and urban developments within Bermuda's economic empowerment zones, where the Urban Development Authority has identified 31 priority sites and developed conceptual designs that could deliver nearly 350 new residential units. The Bermuda Business Development Agency strengthening Bermuda's global competitiveness through enhanced industry engagement, targeted market research, and international outreach, promoting the island's trust, fintech, and asset management sectors. And completing these efforts, the Bermuda Tourism Authority has expanded immersed cultural, culinary, and heritage offerings, such as guided tours, art month, restaurant week, and live entertainment, contributing to higher cultural experience satisfaction and increase off-season visitation. Mr. Speaker, to start, the Bermuda Business Development Agency has now transitioned to an investment promotion agency and is working with industry leaders to understand what would make Bermuda more competitive. It has structured its work streams to focus on three main pillars: established, being financial services, risk, and insurance; proactive, high net worth services, legal and RegTech and InsurTech; and edge, explorational, the blue economy. The pillars are undergoing the next stage of intensive analysis to ensure the correct priorities, sectors, and markets are set. The Bermuda Business Development Agency also has been working to strengthen Bermuda's presence right where investment decisions are made, building relationships with those who shape fund structures and alternative investments, and ensuring that Bermuda's advantages are consistently presented. The goal is straightforward: to increase high-quality business activity and investment flows by showing up constantly with clarity and with the right partners at the table. Mr. Speaker, alongside market-facing work, competitiveness also depends on Bermuda's capacity to house the people of Bermuda within our economy. That is why significant work has been led by the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation and the Urban Development Authority to drive residential development and regeneration through approved residential schemes in the economic empowerment zones. This work has moved well beyond policy into active delivery, including island-wide mapping of development opportunities, updated needs and demand analysis, and early design concepts to shorten the path from interest to construction. Mr. Speaker, to unlock development at pace, and because revitalizing Hamilton and increasing the supply of housing in and around the city supports business activity and reduces pressure on the rental market, the Approved Residential Schemes program now includes the City of Hamilton. The Approved Hamilton Residential Scheme. One approved Hamilton Residential Scheme application has been approved, and more are in the process. In addition, the BEDC has introduced the Approved Residential Scheme Kickstart program, a guarantee-backed program that aims to reduce financial risk and support lending for major residential and mixed-use projects in all four of the island's EEZs. It is worth noting that many units across the island remain empty simply because the renovation costs place refurbishment out of reach for many homeowners. The private sector refurbishment program is bringing empty units back into use by offering up to $125,000 in interest-free support for reimbursement repaid from rental income. To date, 48 landlords have registered interest and 32 properties have been assessed. Mr. Speaker, Strategic Priority 1 also includes support for local business growth and entrepreneurship, and the BEDC is delivering a range of support products for that purpose. More broadly, the BEDC is targeting the barriers that often block small business success, including cost, finance, skills, and access to market. This is delivered through concessions, financing support, incubators, and education programs, infrastructure support, and networking. Promoting Bermuda's development opportunities is also key to progressing economic development. In 2025, the BEDC and the Urban Development Authority hosted the first Bermuda Infrastructure and Development Summit during International Economic Development Week, convening local and international stakeholders to identify opportunities, gaps, and solutions. To support cost reduction and build capacity in the sector, the UDA also convened the 2025 Build Mixer, bringing international expertise on alternative building methods together with local stakeholders and site visits. Mr. Speaker, competitiveness also depends on a strong visitor economy and reliability of public services, and work is strengthening access and improving visitor experiences year-round. Airlift has strengthened over the past 2 years, causing total airline seats to go up by 51% and more than doubling in origin markets. In 2025, the Ministry of Tourism and Transport, Culture and Sports formally tasked the Bermuda Tourism Authority to lead the Air Service Development Committee to coordinate and execute Bermuda's airlift strategy. As such, the BTA continues to work closely with key stakeholders to ensure that airlift expansion aligns with visitor demands and supports long-term sustainability of routes. Looking ahead, the BTA is undertaking a detailed assessment of the incremental airlift requirements to support the reopening of Fairmont Southampton. The BTA is also shifting the visitor offer towards guided experiences led by local interpreters, supported by year-round arts, culture, sports, and heritage programming. Visitor satisfaction in 2025 increased by 15%. To strengthen service standards and support the hospitality workforce, the BTA launched Anchor Bermuda, which more than 250 people have completed. Anchor BDA is part of BTA Plus, an online learning platform that has so far offered 400 courses to over 895 users. Mr. Speaker, in agriculture, practical steps have been taken to support local production and resilience with technical assistance, better infrastructure, and targeted policy improvements. The integrated agriculture strategy is advancing food and nutritional resilience by modernizing infrastructure and strengthening services to farmers. Key deliverables include the completion of an arable land audit, upgraded post-harvest storage capacity, and modernized inspection and surveillance capability. Furthermore, work is ongoing that ensures that Agriculture Service Center remains fully operational and ready to support farmers. Mr. Speaker, regarding the blue economy, employment planning work has progressed. The draft marine spatial plan is complete and the draft blue economy strategy has been prepared. Next steps depends on drafting and enacting the Marine Development Act, which will provide the framework to take both documents forward. Indeed, honorable members will recall that the Marine Resource Enforcement Strategy was laid in the House last Friday to address protection and existing protected areas. Mr. Speaker, the House will also be aware of my recent announcements of Bermuda's fintech strategy, which sets out a clear plan to grow the sector responsibly and ensure that Bermudans benefit from the opportunities that it creates. Bermuda's fintech strategy is focused on adoption, trust, and Bermudian opportunity. Over the review period, licensing activity under the Digital Asset Business Act has increased significantly, alongside continual growth in innovative insurer licenses, reflecting sustained international interest in Bermuda's regulated offerings. Notably, companies holding the most mature form of double authorization, the Class F full license, increased from 8 in 2022 to 18 in 2024. At the first quarter of 2021, the Bermuda Monetary Authority had issued a total of 39 digital asset licenses and 14 insurtech licenses across all class types. Maintaining an efficient, business-friendly operating environment remains essential. As recently as 2 weeks ago, the BDA launched the Bermuda Leadership Exchange Stakeholder Series to align joint activities and communications and to use stakeholder insight to strengthen competitiveness and the ease of doing business. Mr. Speaker, this concludes my update on Strategic Priority 1, Local and International Business Retention and Expansion. My next update to this Honorable House will cover the next two strategic priorities: business attraction and investment promotion, and entrepreneurship and small business development. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Excuse me. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of the Minister of Home Affairs. Minister.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning to this honorable House and the listening audience. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to signal to this honorable House that today the Ministry of Home Affairs will release its green paper on Bermuda's application for full membership in the Caribbean community. Mr. Speaker, this represents an invitation to the people of Bermuda to examine the evidence, weigh the arguments, and share their thoughts with this government. Mr. Speaker, the Green Paper examines how Bermuda can move from the margins of regional decision-making to its center. It sets out the strategic framework, the historical context, the constitutional constraints, the cost, and the benefits of full membership. It presents the implications plainly, and it invites the scrutiny of every Bermudian. Today, the public is invited to tune in to government social media channels as we launch the public consultation. Mr. Speaker, the government has been transparent about its intentions. The Honorable Premier has tasked the Ministry of Home Affairs with leading this work, and the ministry has adopted a two-phased approach. In the first phase, Mr. Speaker, we consulted directly with stakeholders across a broad cross-section of Bermuda's civic, sporting, cultural, labor, and business institutions. We met with the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation, the West Indies Association of Bermuda, the Bermuda Public Service Union, the Bermuda Cricket Board, the Bermuda Olympic Association, the Bermuda Credit Union, Citizens Uprooting Racism in Bermuda, the Ministry of National Security, the One Bermuda Alliance, and more. Their input collectively shaped this document. Mr. Speaker, we also added a question in the fourth quarter of the Omnibus survey to gather baseline sentiment and capture the views of a representative sample of Bermudians. The areas that made full CARICOM membership a viable direction for the government to take were identified as food security, climate resilience, energy resilience, healthcare and public safety, and education and training opportunities. These are the daily concerns of Bermudian families. They are the same issues that occupy the center of CARICOM's regional agenda, and they are the same issues that were discussed at the 50th CARICOM Heads of Government Conference in Basseterre, St. Kitts and Nevis just 2 weeks ago. Bermuda was not in the room when those discussions took place, and now the second phase of this consultation does begin, because the Green Paper invites the public to read, to question, and to respond. Over the coming months, the ministry will engage directly with stakeholders across the community to share information and, more importantly, to listen. The Green Paper invites the public to consider and respond on matters ranging from whether Bermuda should seek a greater role in CARICOM's engagement with international partners to what concerns Bermudians may have about deeper integration. The government will accept written submissions through the Ministry of Home Affairs, and details of the submission process, public meetings, and the timeline for the government's response will be published separately. The public is invited for a launch which will begin today at 1 p.m. Mr. Speaker, some will ask, why now? The answer is that the world has changed around us, and the terms of our participation have not kept pace. Almost 23 years ago, former Premier Dame Jennifer Smith brought a historic motion to the House of Assembly that set Bermuda on a path to CARICOM associate membership. Bermuda became an associate member in 2003 following the Conference of Heads of Government decision at its 13th intersessional meeting in the Belize City in February of 2002. The agreement between the Caribbean community and the government of Bermuda established tiers of participation: observer status at meetings of the Conference of Heads, the Community Council of Ministers, participation without a vote in deliberation of most bodies, and explicit exclusion from the Council for Foreign and Community Relations, known as COFCOR, and from all discussions relating on foreign policy in any organ of the community. Mr. Speaker, that decision was right for its time. Associate membership gave us a framework for regional cooperation, and we have used it. Our uniformed services train alongside their Caribbean counterparts. Caribbean utility crews helped restore Bermuda's power after Hurricane Fabian. The Bermuda Regiment deployed to support Caribbean support recovery after Hurricane Ivan, Irma, and Maria. We competed in the Carifta Games, and we sent 18 artists, musicians, and gumbe dancers to Carafesta in Barbados in 2025. But associate membership has reached its structural limits. We are in the room, but not at the table. We participate, but we do not decide. And as the challenges face small island economies intensify, the gap between attendance and partnership grows wider. Mr. Speaker, 90% of what Bermudians eat comes from overseas. 98% of our electricity is generated from imported fuel. When global shipping is disrupted or fuel prices rise, the cost of groceries, electricity, and transportation rises with it. These are the same pressures that are felt across the Caribbean. CARICOM members are confronting them collectively. However, Bermuda is on the sidelines of those conversations. The Green Paper asks us to consider if we want to remain outside of those conversations. Mr. Speaker, before I speak to the contents of the Green Paper, I must speak to the story that it tells, because the question of CARICOM is not only a question of policy, it's a question of identity. Our history has never been in solitary. For more than 3 centuries, Bermudian vessels sailed the Caribbean Sea. From the 1660s, our seafarers worked the salt pans of the Turks Islands. Our shipwrights, many of them enslaved, built some of the fastest sloops in the Atlantic. Our families put down roots from Grand Turk to Kingston and are found on both sides of that historic connection to this day. The connection to St. Kitts and Nevis runs particularly deep. More than half of Bermuda's population traces ancestral roots to those islands. The Honorary Council for St. Kitts and Nevis has documented that hundreds came to Bermuda for work after the decline of the slavery-based sugar industry, with immigration increasing from 1875 as workers built Watford Bridge and later the Royal Navy Dockyard. Mr. Speaker, our most celebrated cultural tradition carries this connection in its bones. The gumbe is Bermuda's distinct art form recognized by UNESCO in 1970, but it did not emerge in isolation. The gumbe tradition shares direct lineage to masquerade dance troupes from St. Kitts and Nevis, the same headdress, the same masks, the same capes decorated with mirrors, ribbons, and bells, the same drums. Modern-day gumbe costumes originated with the influx of Caribbean workers, mainly from St. Kitts, Nevis, and Antigua in the 1920s and 1930s. When a gumbe troupe dances through the streets of Hamilton, it carries 3 centuries of Caribbean connection with every step. When the British Parliament passed the Slavery Abolition Act in 1833, the Bermuda and Antigua became the first colonies to implement full emancipation. Over 1,900 enslaved persons were freed on the Turks Island alone. 6 months later, the American slave ship Enterprise was blown into Hamilton Harbor, carrying 85 enslaved men, women, and children. A formerly enslaved Bermudian by the name of Richard Tucker served as captain with a writ of habeas corpus. The Supreme Court convened at 9 p.m. and asked each person individually whether they wished to return to the United States or remain in Bermuda as free people. 72 chose that freedom. The act of liberation did not happen in isolation. It was part of a chain that stretched through the Bahamas, through the wider Caribbean, and into the conscience of the abolition movement. Bermuda's story is a Caribbean story, and it always has been. And yet, Mr. Speaker, during our consultations, we heard something that must be placed on parliamentary record. We heard from Bermudians whose parents deliberately concealed their Caribbean heritage from their own children. They did this not out of shame, but out of fear. Fear that acknowledging where they came from would make their children targets. Fear rooted in a colonial narrative that told us we are not like them. And so the question becomes, who benefits from that narrative? Not our families, not our children, and not Bermuda. Division has kept us small. Connection makes us strong. Mr. Speaker, I will turn to what this green paper sets before the people of Bermuda. The paper is organized into 5 chapters, and it begins with an explanation of what CARICOM is, how it functions, and what full membership entails. It addresses Bermuda's constitutional status as a British overseas territory and the constraints that status places on our participation. It sets out the history of Bermuda's relationship with CARICOM across nearly 30 years of engagement. It examines the tangible benefits of full membership in the areas that matter most to most Bermudians: cost of living, trade and economic opportunities, climate resilience, healthcare and education, and cultural connection. It presents the results of the stakeholder consultation and the Omnibus Survey. The paper is direct about cost, Bermuda's current annual contribution as an associate member. The indicative contribution as a full member would be approximately 0.16% of Bermuda's 2025-2026 annual expenditure. The government's position is that Bermuda's financial contribution should reflect the terms of the membership that we are able to accept, and the final figure will be determined through further negotiation. Mr. Speaker, the paper is also direct about the protections. Bermuda retaining full authority over its immigration framework and labor market. The existing work permit system remains in place. The Bermuda government's approach to the single market and economy is measured and phased. Bermuda's regulatory authority over financial services will not be compromised. These are the commitments that are stated plainly in the Green Paper for every Bermudian to read. Mr. Speaker, the Green Paper sets out what Bermuda brings to the table. Enhanced participation is not a one-way request. Bermuda is the world's risk capital, home to sophisticated insurance and reinsurance markets of direct benefit to Caribbean nations facing increased climate-related losses. Bermuda pioneered the regulatory framework for digital assets through Digital Assets Business Act 2018 and is now developing AI governance frameworks. Mr. Speaker, Bermuda's participation strengthens CARICOM's collective negotiating weight and extends its greater geographic footprint into the Mid-Atlantic. This is a partnership of mutual benefit. Mr. Speaker, I would just briefly share with this honorable House what I witnessed at the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads that took place between February 24th to February 27th. The conference was themed Beyond Words, Actions Today for a Thriving, Sustainable CARICOM. For the first time in over a decade, every head of government was present. The Premier and I were in attendance, and we participated in the opening ceremony and in bilateral engagements with overseas territory leaders. The benefits of attendance were significant, and we strengthened bilateral relationships. We engaged directly with regional leaders, and we advanced Bermuda's profile within the community. These are the relationships that open doors for Bermudian businesses, students, and institutions. Mr. Speaker, our presence demonstrated the seriousness with which the government approaches regional engagement and the evolution of our membership journey. However, on February 25th, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio attended the conference. It was the first visit by a U.S. Secretary of State to CARICOM heads meeting in approximately a decade. Secretary Rubio engaged CARICOM leaders on matters of direct consequence to Bermuda: regional security cooperation, energy partnerships, economic growth, trade and investment, combating illicit trafficking, and the future of U.S.-Caribbean relations in a period of significant geopolitical realignment. All overseas territories were informed that the substantive engagement between Secretary Rubio and CARICOM leaders would not be open to their attendance or participation. Mr. Speaker, Bermuda was in the building but not in the room. The resulting joint statements committed parties to comprehensive U.S. CARICOM cooperation framework on investment, trade, and disaster recovery. These are issues that affect Bermudian lives directly. Bermuda had no voice in shaping that framework. The U.S. CARICOM engagement alone makes a case for why associate membership is no longer sufficient, but it is not the only example. Bermuda is also excluded from CARICOM's collective efforts to build and strengthen economic relationships with Africa, Saudi Arabia, India, the UAE, Colombia, Brazil. The comprehensive economic partnership is negotiated, and Bermuda is not eligible within any of these. Mr. Speaker, this House should understand that the constitutional framework clearly. Bermuda's status as an overseas territory means that the UK retains responsibility for external defense and security. The Governor holds reserve powers under Section 61 of the Bermuda Constitutional Order 1968. The UK has progressively expanded Bermuda's authority to engage regionally, and the 2016 letter of entrustment requested by the OBA administration granted general authority to conclude agreements with CARICOM regional organizations. Mr. Speaker, I draw this House to the attention of an important fact, that the 2016 entrustment was sought and secured by the One Bermuda Alliance government. The 2024 entrustment was secured by this government. The pursuit of stronger CARICOM ties is not a partisan initiative. It has bipartisan precedent. Both governments have recognized the value of this engagement, and it is a commitment that reflects the settlement judgment of successive Bermudian governments. We recognize the 2024 letter comes with conditions, and Bermuda's representative must abstain on issues bearing directly on external relations, defense, or security. Any proposed membership text must be submitted to the FCDO for review, and a further letter of entrustment may be required before Bermuda can formally accede. In January 2026, the UK provided additional guidance in terms of our treaty, as well as the provisions included. These constraints are real, and the Green Paper addresses them in detail. They do not prevent Bermuda from deepening our relationship. The vast majority of CARICOM's practical work in health, education, trade, food security, climate resilience, digital infrastructure, and cultural cooperation falls within Bermuda's delegated authority. Our Caribbean neighbors are themselves American trading partners, security alliances, and neighbors. Deepening our partnership with them does not diminish our relationship with Washington and London. Mr. Speaker, we have heard the concerns and take them very seriously. We also take seriously the responsibility to distinguish concern from fear and fear from fiction. Some Bermudians say that they will lose their jobs, but the Green Paper is clear. Bermuda will retain its full control over immigration and work permits. Full membership does not grant CARICOM nationals the right to live or work here. The work permit system stays in place. Some say international companies will leave. The Green Paper is clear that Bermuda's economic substance requirements, its world-class regulatory environment, and its concentration of global expertise in reinsurance, fintech, and professional services are the reason companies operate here. Membership in CARICOM does not change any of that. Mr. Speaker, fear-mongering has run its course, and the Green Paper replaces speculation with evidence. It places anxiety with information. It puts every claim to the test of fact. And I say to every Bermudian to read the paper, examine it, and challenge it. Bring your hopes and your skepticisms. This is exactly what the process is designed for. Mr. Speaker, this consultation places the people of Bermuda in the driver's seat because too often in our history, decisions about our place in the world have been made for us. Too often the question of who we are and where we belong have been answered by others. This process is different, and this Green Paper gives Bermudians the facts, the analysis, and the framework. The next steps belong to them. Mr. Speaker, this country has always known who it is, a Caribbean island, a mid-Atlantic bridge, a financial center of global standing, a community built by generations who sailed between these worlds and made them one. The structures that kept us on the margins of our own regional decision no longer reflect who we are or what we're capable of, and Bermuda does not need permission to believe in its own value. It just needs the standing to act on it. The question that the Green Paper puts to the people of Bermuda is whether we will seize this opportunity, whether we will participate in trade relationships, climate partnerships, and regional conversations that our Caribbean neighbors are leading, whether we will claim the seat that is waiting for us. At its heart, this is a story of us. The answer should be guided by self-belief, self-assurance, and by honest understanding of who we are and where we stand in this region. Every Bermudian has a place in this story, and they're invited to find their place in it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, that brings us to a close of the statement period this morning. We'll now move on. The next item on the order paper, reports of committees, and there are none. After reports of committees, we now go to the question period. And members, there are questions this morning from the statements. There are no written questions, so we'll begin with the statements from the questions from the statements that were given this morning. And the first statement this morning from the Minister of National Security. Minister, you have members who wish to ask questions of you, and the first is MP Tucker. MP Tucker, would you like to put your question?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Morning.
Thank you. So my first question is, I'd like to know if each of the uniformed services departments have proactive staffing plans for each area. It just seems as though they have large numbers of vacancies, and then we're looking for people. Do they have proactive staffing plans for each individual department?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the question. The answer is actually yes. Each department, the mandate is to remain fully operational, and services to the public have not been affected. It's been a lot of actual work and maneuvering on the part of the department heads, but the answer to her question is yes.
Supplementary or new question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary.
Yes, supplementary. I appreciate that there is no impact to the public, but if the minister can talk a bit about the impact of these vacancies it's having on the staff, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Your question is?
The minister mentioned that having the vacancies has not impacted the public. So now I'm just asking, what impact are the vacancies having on the staff that have to cover those vacancies? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Obviously, until we are able to get all the numbers that are required throughout the departments, there is a lot of overtime and potential, understanding for staff burnout. So as a result, we have a diligent recruitment process to try to bring our numbers up to par.
Supplementary or new question?
New question, Mr. Speaker. Is there, the minister mentioned, for example, the regiment, and they have the next intake in July. So I just wanted to know if there is rolling intake for any of the departments, or are there specific intake periods throughout the year per department? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Understood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No, they are not rolling intakes. There are specific times when each department sets out a recruit plan, and then they advertise for bodies.
Supplementary or new question?
Yes, please, Mr. Speaker, supplementary. So my supplementary question is, given the large number of vacancies and the ongoing large portion of vacancies, whether the ministry would consider actually implementing rolling intake?
Understood.
The answer really is no to that, because it's not financially feasible.
Supplementary or new question?
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker. Can the minister tell us what positions are vacant in those areas?
Understood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The positions are for new recruits. We have a natural attrition of people retiring after putting in services. There you have others that are being promoted on the job, so they move up. So it leaves a lot of room and positions for new recruits at the intake level, the operational level.
Supplementary or I'll ask you third question?
I'll move to the third question because I do have a supplementary, but I'll speak to the minister separately about that.
All right.
So my third question is, given the difficulties of trying to attract quality candidates, has the ministry been looking at the internal mechanisms of each department that make it difficult to attract such candidates? So, for instance, has the minister looked at management? Has the minister looked at the infrastructure, internal operational matters, those types of things to help improve so that more quality candidates may come forward? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to clarify that the attractiveness is not what the issue is. It's trying to hire qualified persons, and we are definitely in the process now of going through a complete look at the recruitment process. But certainly the attraction is there, but there is a rigorous process, because it's important that those that qualify for any uniform services are ably fit to carry out their duty.
Okay. Supplementary?
Mr. Speaker, yes, thank you. A supplementary. Can the minister sort of clarify, because he said it's an entry-level position, and then he also mentioned that, attracting qualified candidates. So if he can sort of clarify whether these are entry-level positions, or is he looking for qualified candidates? Just trying to get some clarity around what that actually looks like, because I would also like to know how are they assessing whether the environment is such whereby the candidates are whether the issue. Can I start again?
Okay. So what you're asking for is it more important for the qualified, or is it more important just to take PP in? That's what you're asking, basically. Is you looking for intake, or you looking for qualified?
Yes.
And the qualified for you means?
Yes, so specific qualifications that they are looking for, are they looking for people that have specific qualifications to fill these roles?
Okay.
Or are they looking for entry-level candidates who may not have specific qualifications?
Okay. Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to start off by saying I invite the member to at least read my statement, because the statement sets out clearly that when we advertise for jobs, not just in uniform service, but any job, you're looking for quality personnel. I'm sure ICS looks for quality personnel. I mean, what is it that I'm asked to explain? What is that I'm asked to explain?
I'm going to try and help this thing before. Any application that goes out, you got a whole list of applicants. Some applicants just don't meet the standard that you're looking for. So when you're saying qualified, you're basically looking for somebody who meets the standards. Am I correct? Okay. Is that help? Okay.
Helps.
Thank you. All right.
Do I have a second supplementary?
You have a
Mr.
second
Speaker?
sub, yes.
Okay, thank you. So my second supplementary is, what is the stumbling block then to finding these suitable candidates? Can the minister explain to us, break it down for us so we understand what the difficulty is?
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I don't know how to answer that. It's the same challenges that every other business has when they're trying to get suitable people for their departments or their business. There's a rigorous standard, and I outlined it not only in this ministerial statement but in previous ministerial statements, that there's medical, there's psychological, there's drug testing, there's academic component, there's a fitness component. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't walk in a door, especially of a service as that the uniform service provide, and just say, "Here I am, I applied, let me in."
Thank you. That was your second sub. Okay, thank you. Thank you, members. MP, there's Minister rather. There's further questions for you. MP King would like to put questions to you. MP King.
We play nice this morning. Morning, Mr. Speaker, members of this honorable House and the listening public. Regarding the recruitment of officers, what is the expectation in terms of manning or staffing the road traffic division and gang resistance specialized task force with the increased numbers that you have? The reason why I asked the question is we accept that the number of traffic accidents on the road and the numbers of serious injuries are too many. And we also accept that the incidence of gun violence and knife violence and the injuries and deaths caused is too many. And obviously staffing issues play a role in that. So I'm asking, how will the officers be allocated to those particular areas of need? Thank you.
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to start off by saying that I don't equate our staffing levels with the road deaths and the murders, right? We are in the process of hiring new police officers, and as they get through the process and become qualified, but they will be placed where the Commissioner of Police deems that they need to be put.
Supplementary or new question?
Supplemental.
Okay.
Understanding that we recognize that driving behaviors on the island's roads are causing unnecessary accidents, and it can be argued that it's due in part to a lack of police presence. Is there a consideration to making sure that the road traffic division has a regular presence on the road with these new recruits?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm certain that the Commissioner of Police will place his officers where he feels that the need is necessary.
Second sub or new question?
New question, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Understanding that 2 cohorts are going to be receiving training, how many vacancies are anticipated at the conclusion of the 2 cohorts? Because not all of them are going to graduate. So what's going to be the outstanding staffing number that's required?
Speculation at this point.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, at the
Yeah, I would deem that
Yeah.
it's more speculation at this point because until we get the process done, you don't know how many spaces are going to be filled, whether they be able to get the full complement or not. So it's really just sort of speculation to ask that question right now.
For clarification, Mr. Speaker,
Thank you, Mr.
ordinarily they know that the failure rate's going to be about 15 or 20%, so I was asking it based on projections of that. Thanks.
Mr. Speaker, the recruitment process is ongoing. I mean, it's a 5-step process. You know, I've said it in this ministerial statement and previous ones. For me to be asked how many are going to fail, how many are going to pass, and then how many is going to be left, you know, I think that's a math question that I'm not able to figure out.
Okay. All right. Is there another supplementary or third question?
And Mr. Speaker, this concerns customs. Understanding that there are 52 uniform officer vacancies, but only 14 are funded, why do 38 positions remain unfunded?
Understand?
Thank you for that question, Mr. Speaker. As we get the required numbers to fill our posts, the funding is there, and we will fund the posts as is necessary.
Supplementary?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Understanding that there are 52 vacancies in the Customs Department and Customs is responsible for protecting our borders, how has this impacted on service delivery and protecting our shores?
Understood?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My answer is very similar to the answer given to the previous MP. There's a lot of overtime that takes place. The operational effectiveness of the uniform services in general is still being met in keeping Bermuda safe on our borders and on land and sea.
Supplementary? No question? Okay. Minister, that's the end of the statements, questions for your statement. Minister of Economy and Labor, you have members who wish to ask questions. Yourself, MP King, would you like to put your question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the Honourable Minister inform the House how many new international businesses established since the launch of the Economic Development Strategy in 2023?
Understood?
Mr. Speaker, that's a matter of public record. The economic update and the quarterly bulletin of statistic tables that are presented to the public highlight local and new businesses, and they also highlight international businesses. And so I would say that there has been tremendous growth in our international business community since the launch of the Economic Development Strategy. As it pertains to insurance and reinsurance companies, the BMA puts out those numbers on an annual basis as well. And so I don't have the exact numbers, but it is a fact that there has been significant growth of new businesses registering in Bermuda.
Okay. Supplementary or new question?
Supplementary.
Yes.
We welcome and we're thankful that international business is doing well in Bermuda. Question I have is, how many Bermudians are employed in international business in management or senior management positions as a result of this initiative?
The member included a phrase, as a result of this initiative. when he talked about the numbers. I'm not sure if there is a direct correlation. What we would say is we create a business environment which allows for businesses to grow and expand. The principal aim of this strategy was business retention and expansion. We have seen retention of our local businesses and we have seen expansion of our local businesses. When those businesses remain and when they expand, they add employment numbers. Those employment numbers, we now see that over 5,000 employees are within the international business sector. Over 50% of those individuals are Bermudians. Bermudians continue to progress, but not at the pace in which we would fully appreciate. The annual employment numbers do put out the figures as it pertains to Bermudians in the industrial section and the positions in which they possess.
Thank you. Supplementary or new question?
Supplementary.
Okay.
Would the minister be able to speak to how many Bermudians are in senior positions as of 2024 in international business? Because what we understand is that definitely international business hires, but the majority of the jobs in international businesses are work permit holders.
Would your statement have addressed that specific piece?
The statement doesn't address the specifics regarding Bermudians in management. However, the member is 100% incorrect when he says the majority of persons employed in international business are work permit holders.
Okay. New question? That was your second supplementary question.
For clarification, in senior positions, that's my final question. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, so you're putting that as a second question?
I was just clarifying that I was speaking to Bermudians in senior positions in international business.
Do you have a second question? Okay, all right. Minister, MP Campbell would like to put questions to you as well. MP Campbell?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the Minister for his update. Minister, if my calculation is correct, we're in year 4 of a 5-year strategy. Can the minister provide the number of residential units that have been developed to date under this strategy?
Minister?
The statement makes it clear that we are making progress. There are 2 separate residential schemes. There's the approved Hamilton scheme and there's the approved residential scheme. The Uptown Development Authority has identified sites and they're doing a lot of the prep work. And so a lot of leg work has gone into identifying potential investment sites and working directly with investors. We haven't received the uptick as it pertains to investment into the development of sites, but there is interest and they continue to work with developers. As it pertains to the approved Hamilton residential scheme, we do have one approved Hamilton residential scheme which is passed, but this is all process work. And I would like to inform members that that is a component of an overall strategy to increase housing in Bermuda. And so the strategy speaks to not just the work that has been done in the approved schemes, but also the development that takes place outside of the approved schemes. The overall aim is to ensure that we continue to support our retail sector with the expansion of houses. We certainly see the expansion of houses in Bermuda year over year. That is reported on in the quarterly bulletin of statistics as well, where we see the addition to the residential stock on an annual basis.
Supplementary or new question?
Supplementary. If I understood the minister correctly, there is one development that's in progress. Can the minister advise how many units will result from that development when it's completed?
Thank you. Minister?
I don't have those details at this moment, but I will endeavor to provide full transparency and clarity on those details to the honorable member.
Thank you. Supplementary, second sub or second question?
No, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Minister.
Okay, thank you. Minister, that's the end of questions for you on your statement. The last statement in the name of the Minister of Home Affairs, MP Fay would like to put questions to you.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, listening audience. My first question is, does the minister have any form of draft agreement from CARICOM, given the previous stated position that full consultation would likely commence once a draft agreement was in the hands of the government?
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My statement went into the framework that Bermuda is seeking to negotiate with the Secretariat as part of the Green Paper, as well as what was included in the statement this morning. Thank you.
Supplementary or?
Mr. Speaker, there wasn't an answer to that question. It's a very specific question. Does the government have any draft agreements? Because that was a previous stated position, and if it's not in the statement, one will have to assume, I suppose, that there is no draft agreement. That's a very simple question to answer. It's just not really a supplementary. We didn't get an answer.
The member is restating the fact that there was a specific response that was sort of directed from that, and he was wondering if there was you could be more direct in the response.
Sure, Mr. Speaker. The current full members of CARICOM have agreed to the treaty provisions. So the entire treaty provisions and the terms makes up the agreement that they would accept or be part of CARICOM as a full member. Bermuda is unlike the other sovereign islands, and so therefore we have refined and also examined the areas of participation, which is included in the Green Paper. A draft document is not compiled because we are still in the consultation phase, and so that consultation, which the Green Paper pursues, will be able to best refine what the draft agreement entails.
Okay. Supplementary.
No supplementary. I think we have an answer. Barely. Thank you.
Second question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. So the minister has advised that the fees are 0.16% of annual expenditure. So that appears to be approximately $2 million on an annual basis based on the budget expenditures. Can the minister expand on what additional costs may be to the taxpayer, given that there would likely be a CARICOM ambassador and other potential posts that come with CARICOM membership? Thank you.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The current cost, it's important to clarify that the 0.6 is based on full participation. As I just...
Sorry, just point of clarity, because I don't want the minister to go down a different road. I think what she was 0.16, and she's just said 0.6. I just want to get clarity. Her statement, I believe, said 0.16, and she just stated 0.6. I think we should clarify that.
The Shadow Minister is gracious. 0.16% is accurate in terms of what a full membership would, based on our GDP, would entail. However, because of Bermuda's status and the terms of our current letter of entrustment and framework, it is not foreseen that we would have to pay the full cost of a full member, so someone that can accede to all of the provisions. In terms of the foreseen cost, at present there are no foreseen costs. We are in the consultation phase. I do note the, position that was concluded in the Honorable Shadow Minister's question, but at present we are in the consultation phase to be able to deepen these ties with CARICOM. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Supplementary or third question?
Third question, Mr. Speaker. I'm a little surprised that the Green Paper has not been tabled in the House. We understand that it will be put to the public at around 1 o'clock today. Will the minister undertake to table the Green Paper in the House at a future date?
Minister?
Yes.
Great. Thank you for that clarification. Yes, supplementary. In respect of the overall timelines, can the minister then share what the rest of the anticipated timeline looks like from the tabling of the green paper in the House to the eventual publication of a white paper?
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The government is seeking to take a measured approach. We will be governed by the feedback that we receive from the public, and once we have completed consultation, we will publish a white paper. Thank you.
Second sub?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, if the minister could add some clarity, is there an anticipated timeline? We say we're taking our time, we're going to be careful. Can the minister opine on, does that look like it's going to be the end of the year? How long is the green paper consultation period going to be for? I think people have the right to know what they're facing in terms of these decisions.
Minister?
We're going to proceed with a 3-month consultation, but we will be guided, as I shared in my previous response, by the public. If they need more information, we will provide the information as they seem to suggest that they need. The Ministry of Home Affairs has done a deep research and deep engagement with stakeholders to be able to present the document and the green paper as currently concluded and presented. However, as further information becomes known, as more information is also therefore known, we want to be able to amply communicate that to the public as well. And so we do not have a fixed timeline at present, but we are commencing our consultation, which will include town halls, which I will share with this Honorable House in a future ministerial statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Members, that brings us to a conclusion of the question period. I think all the supplementaries and questions have been used. There are no other member who wishes to put a question to you. Members, we thank you for your participation. We'll now move on. The next item on the order paper is the congratulatory and obituary speeches. Would any member wish to speak to that? MP Lister, I see you rose quickly at that time. Would you like your 3 minutes?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to the listening audience and to this Honorable House. Mr. Speaker, I stand today just to give recognition of this week. This week, as a member of Somerset Cricket Club, we celebrate our anniversary week, Mr. Speaker. Somerset Cricket Club has been in existence for 124 years, but in its present location at the grounds of Somerset Cricket Club for 78 years. And Mr. Speaker, as we do every year, we have our anniversary week, which started yesterday with a church service at the Agape Ministries out in Dockyard by Bishop Lendy. With anyone who is in attendance, they can say that it was a blessed service and a great way to start our week. Mr. Speaker, I would just like to read off what the week of events looks like to invite all the members out. Tonight, there will be an education committee presentation by Ms. Chardonnay Rollins for young people. On Tuesday, tomorrow, we have our special bingo, so we invite all those who love bingo to come out. On Wednesday, Mr. Speaker, we have our seniors tea at 12 noon, so I invite all the seniors out. And then later on that evening, there is a slate of youth football games. So if you have young people, you invite them to come out to watch the youth football games. Thursday night, we have our games night. And again, I invite the public to come out to take part in our games night. And then on Friday, there is an appreciation night for any volunteers over the past 20 years or so who have volunteered at Somerset Cricket Club, whether it be for football, for cricket, or any other sporting activity. You invite them out. And then on Saturday night, there's a football game between Rangers and Somerset Cricket Club. And then on Saturday night, we have our President's Dinner. So I invite those to look out for tickets to attend the President's Dinner. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to just send again congratulations to Somerset Cricket Club on 124 years of existence, but 78 years in our present location. And Mr. Speaker, I'd like to take the last minute of my time. Last Friday, we had International Women's Day, and I'd like to again to just acknowledge all the women, but Mr. Speaker, highlighting and recognizing the Woman of the Year recipient, my cousin, Letitia Lister. I do declare my entrance, and she's also the daughter of former MP Terry Lister. But Mr. Speaker, what was even more touching, I believe, was last year's recipient, again, my cousin Lisa Lister, daughter of former MP Walter Lister, had got to hand over the award this year to her cousin. So I'd like to just, again, congratulate my cousin, Ms. Letitia Lister Burgess, on receiving the award for Woman of the Year 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, MP. I noticed MP Ming was on her feet pretty quickly, so we've gone from the west to the east.
Okay.
Member?
Good morning,
You have
Mr.
your 3
Speaker and
minutes.
listening audience. First of all, Mr. Speaker, with a very sad heart, I know I was associated with these comments on Friday, but I wanted to bring mention of it myself, and that was on the passing of staunch St. Georgian, a person who touched many, many hearts, even children outside of St. George's, and that would be Aunt Cynthia Lattimore. She was a teacher at St. George's Secondary for many, many years. And it's so funny, over the weekend, I bumped into several people who were like, she taught me. And being a teacher, you can imagine that she touched many minds and hearts. She would truly be missed. I would definitely say she was a woman of integrity. Her word was her bond. And if she said it, she meant it. And if she was going to do it, it was going to get done. I would just like to let her only son, Donald, his wife, Margaret, and the Lattimore and Basin families know that they are in our thoughts and prayers. Mr. Speaker, I'd also like to extend congratulations to the International Women's Day Committee for organizing a fine event every year, and also having panels that definitely are thought-provoking and allow us as women to think about our role, and also mindful of the fact that in terms of parity with our male counterparts, we still have a very, very, very long way to go. There were other International Women's Day events over this weekend, and I'd just like to thank persons who take the time to organize and remember women at this time. I'd also like to say, give congratulations to Letitia Lister Burgess, because her story was impeccable. She has done a lot of work in the space of mental health, and she shared her story, which was very sensitive, with all of the women there. And that's not easy, and I recognize that, Mr. Speaker, and so for that I commend her. I'd like to associate Minister Wilson with his comments as well. And also, congratulations to Somerset Cricket Club on their anniversary week. I will try to make it there for one of the events, because in this space, whilst you know I am diehard St. George's, and every
red and blue for you that night.
I am a member of Somerset Cricket Club as well. I believe it's important to be a member of more than one club. So you see me bouncing around my various memberships.
You like being on a winning team, I understand.
I'll even be up there when St. George's wins, Mr. Speaker. But congratulations, club life's not easy. And to the executive of Somerset Cricket Club, I wish them all the best, and the members as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, MP. Does any other member wish to make opposition leader?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning.
Good morning.
Last night I had the opportunity to go to the Bermuda Spelling Bee. Really good event. 13 finalists were participating yesterday, and I like to highlight the final 3. So it was George Morris from Delwood Middle School came in 3rd, and then it was Eli Adunton from Salters Grammar, and the winner, Hunter Pewter from Summersfield Academy. It was quite impressive watching these young people spell some very difficult words. The governor gave some words of encouragement at the end, and he did mention to everybody there he's not sure he would have made it to the finals, and I can agree with him there, because some of those words were extremely difficult. But it's amazing to see our young people putting in the work, and it was really encouraging to see from different various schools the high quality of the ability to spell difficult words, and the coaching that went into it from the teachers. So congratulations to all the finalists, and specifically to the winner. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member wish to make a contribution? MP, Minister Furby?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Speaker. I do want to take the opportunity to give congratulatory remarks to a day that many of us in this House may participate in, and that is congratulatory to Nikita Robinson, who organizes World Book Day every year. And, you may think in this day and age, not many children are probably reading books, but we should still keep books on the forefront of our children and our youth's mind as being very important to their literacy skills. And for those persons in our community who participate in that particular day, we want to recognize you and give a huge thanks for continuing to make reading relevant. Mr. Speaker, I do want to also acknowledge the International Women's Day activities that occurred last week, and also recognizing Dr. Letitia Lister Burgess for being selected as Woman of the Year. I also want to take this time to think of all the women around the world globally who experience disadvantages, with the war currently happening across our seas. It is important to recognize the rights that are violated, women's rights that are violated. And I just want to take the time to again congratulate everyone who is recognizing International Women's Day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any other member? MP DeCudo.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to congratulate the Casa dos Azores on their 11th anniversary. I had the pleasure of joining them for their celebration last night, and I want to thank Lucia Botello, her officers, the members for a fabulous time. They have a young dance troupe, cultural dance troupe, and it's quite enjoyable watching them. I'm not clear all the youngsters enjoyed themselves as much as those watching did, but I know that as they get older, they will appreciate the opportunity to learn more about their culture and their families' cultures. Ms. Botello pointed out a couple of things in her remarks that I thought were really nice to hear. She talked about how they were open to the whole community and that they don't intend to operate as an isolated cultural organization, but they wanted to be part of and invite the community in. And I think that's really important as Bermuda develops as a diverse and multicultural community. And I also want to thank the CASA for doing their part to celebrate and to continue to promulgate the role of the Azorian culture in Bermuda. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Speaker.
you. Any other member wish to make a contribution? None. MP De Silva, Minister De Silva.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for giving me that second. Mr. Speaker, I'd like the House to send congratulations to Mrs. Nadine Brown Evans Henry. She is the president-elect of the BPSU, and associate Mr. Weeks. Everybody on this side wishes to be associated, Mr. Speaker, and Lord willing, she will take office on Friday the 13th. Okay. Thank you.
Any other? None other? Well, members, that brings us to a close of the congratulatory and obituary speeches, so we'll move on. Matters of privilege, there are none. Personal explanations, there are none. Notice of motions for the adjournment of the House on matters of urgent public importance, there are none. Introduction of bills, there are none. Notice of motions, there are none. So that brings us, members, to the point of the main purpose for today, which is the continuation of the estimate of revenues and expenditures for the year 2026 and 2027. And this morning, again, for the listening audience, as we go into the budget debates each day, there are 8 hours that are set aside for the annual debates each day. And today, the first 4 hours will cover the Ministry of Labor and Economy, and the second 4 will be the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors. When we go into being able to debate the individual departments, we have to go into committee. So the House will be moved into committee for the next 8 hours, and the Speaker will be out of the chair, and the House will be under the guidance of the chair panel of chairs. And the morning chair will start us off will be MP Ming. After the House is moved in committee, MP Ming will then take the chair. Senior Minister, will you lead us into committee?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do now resume in Committee of Supply to consider the estimates of revenue and expenditure for 26-27.
Are there any objections to that? There are none. MP Ming? Thank you. Indeed.
How are you, Clark? How you doing? You good? I'm good.
They officially switched, so it's economy and labor tonight, and youth and social development seniors is this morning.
I'm glad you found me.
Is the updated one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the officially updated one. Should have been marked on there. Yeah, let me give you one of these updated ones there. Yeah, they changed it last week.
Yeah, the chair is not really good in giving us the updated versions. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're doing this one.
Yeah, use. Okay.
Okay.
That's a good thing you picked up on that. I would have thought you would have known about it already.
How we getting tired? Honorable members, we are now in Committee of Supply for further consideration of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the year 2026-27. The following heads will be debated. Under Youth, Social Development, and Seniors, heads 86, 23, and 55. I call on the Minister in charge to proceed. Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Chair, I move the following heads: 86, Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors Headquarters; 23, Child and Family Services; 55, Financial Assistance, be now taken under consideration.
And it has been moved that heads 23 and 55 be approved. Is there any objection to that motion? No objection. Agreed to.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, just like to just say that the statements are very lengthy ones, and so I ask that my colleagues indulge. It's lots of information. I ask that we are listening attentively so that questions can be made accordingly. Madam Chair, I'm pleased.
Minister, before you start, I just want to be clear on something. The heads that I have listed are heads 86, 23, and 55, but you moved 23 and 55.
I did 86 first.
No, you just said 23 and 55, so we just want to be sure that.
Yes, so I move following heads: 86, Ministry of Youth, Social Development, and Seniors Headquarters; 23, Child and Family Services; 55, Financial Assistance,